I had two good friends leave the Catholic Church. The first explained that their new church service included a coffee bar and a cool laser light show. The second said that there was a three-part sermon on an Adam Sandler movie. With utter deadpan upon my face, I asked them, "But don't you hunger for the Eucharist?" We have ultimately come here seeking something to fill our souls. But is it a longing for more entertainment, or for Christ himself? Over the next couple of weekends, I will explore not what the Eucharist is, but rather who we are in light of the gift of the Eucharist. The Eucharist is celebrated in the context of a great liturgy called the Mass. This liturgy, this public worship of what we hold of highest value, tells us about who we are as Christians. Everything in the world tells us, I have to be me, but the Eucharist demands that we be His. For St. Paul said, "It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me." To be His, Venerable Archbishop Fulton Sheen said, one must let God do to your soul what Mary let him do to her body, namely, let Christ be formed in you. Mary's life and dedication to the body and blood of Jesus within her womb show us that when we celebrate the Eucharist, we are celebrating freedom. We are created for love. True love, though, demands freedom. If we were created in such a way that we were forced to love God and had no choice, then this would not be true love. Love exists only where there is a possibility to say no. That's why people propose marriage, not demand it. Our God, then, must be a God who is pro-choice, not in some contemporary definition of the word, but a God that respects our freedom to choose whether we respond to His invitation of love or not. Love indeed requires freedom, but I cannot simply love as I please. You see, love involves a choice, and freedom is not that I am free from something, but rather I am free for something. This is why God made His proposal to Mary at the Annunciation, so that she could freely take on her vocation. God could have made a perfect man when He sculpted Adam out of the clay. He could have wiped out humanity and created something out of nothing as He did in the beginning. And He could have done it without consulting humanity. But this would have been a divine invasion of our freedom. God's approach to salvation is not a dictatorship, but cooperation. To redeem humanity, God humbly seeks our consent. God could destroy evil, but only at the cost of human freedom, and that would be too high a price to pay. It would only be trading a dictatorship on earth for a dictatorship in heaven. Before remaking humanity, God consulted humanity, so that there would be no destruction of human dignity. He consulted a woman named Mary. At the Annunciation, God essentially asked Mary, "Will you make me a man?" A creature was asked by the Creator if she would freely cooperate with God's plan. Here then is freedom of religion. God respects human freedom by refusing to invade humanity without the free consent of one of His creatures. In her liberty, Mary consented, and it started a divine reversal. The first Eve came from the first Adam, but now in redemption, the new Adam, Jesus, will come from the new Eve, Mary. Every Mass celebrates our freedom. God has protected our free will at all cost. Therefore, in the sacrifice of the Mass, we must bring a gift, our free will, and offer it back to Him. Our free will is the only thing that is really our own. Our health, our wealth, our power, our possessions, God can take away. But our freedom He leaves to us, even in hell. Because freedom is our own. It is the only perfect gift that we can make to God. In giving our free will back to God, we are not losing it or surrendering it, but rather Mary shows us that our free will is being lost within the greater love of her Son. This is why Jesus said, "If the Son of Man makes you free, you will be free indeed." We may celebrate freedom as Americans, but we only know what true freedom is and how to use it in light of Jesus Christ, whom we worship and commune with at every Mass.